If it wasn't for waiting for 8:30, we'd be done by now.
Is that how quick it's gonna be?
It'll go quick till people start talking. There's gonna be some good news today on insurance. Though.
Would you?
We're gonna go back. It looks like we're gonna go back to blue. It's the cheapest. At 8.9% increase.
It's still an 8.9.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry about that. No, Chrissy showed up yesterday morning in my office with Diana, and we talked about what our tax rate. So she's supposed to be working on it this week. And so the sooner I get those numbers, she won't know we're gonna do the employees. I said, until I get the revenue numbers, I can't tell you. So not saying you're holding me. The quicker I get that, the better. What are you gonna do? That's a good deal. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens after this. I'm gonna take off after this. I have to go to that meeting. I missed the last one for the Texas Judicial Education. So I'm gonna drive to Austin. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon in the office.
Okay, I'll try to have my budget. I mean, mine's easy, simple.
Because I have to technically go up to Cleburne to get my blood drawn, which I was supposed to do yesterday, and we got the appointment because I got stuck in jury duty. So I've got to get my blood drawn in Cleburne, because that's where that closest UT Southwestern lab is. They take the insurance, so you got to do that.
Better,
stupid
I'm
stuff.
gonna get stuck with a $400 bill.
Yes, ma'am, I did once already. I went to one that allegedly they took down in
So where's the one?
Waco. I got the address on here. I've never been to
I
it.
need, I
before.
have to go check, and I knew there was a place in Cleveland next.
Okay, good. Ready to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, we'll call this special meeting, the Hill County Commissioners Court to order. This, the 19th day of July, 2022. Let the record reflect is 8:30 a.m. We're in the Hill County Courthouse in the county first floor. A quorum of commissioners is present established, and further, this meeting was posted in accordance with Texas Government Code 551, better known as the Open Meetings Act. This meeting is open both to public and online. As of 8 o'clock this morning, have we had anybody sign up? Nope, nobody signed up for online commentary. So our first order of business, is there anybody here to speak about something that's not on the agenda today? Yes, please come on up, Mickey. And we all know and love you, but if you can identify yourself for the record. Mia Culver. Oh, oh.
Good morning. I'm Nikki Alvarado. I'm the Assistant County Attorney. I'm here because I wanted to remind everyone that one of our bigger fundraisers in the county is happening on August 13th. It's the Hill County Designer First Bingo. It benefits CASA of Hill County as well as the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children. Both organizations get all the proceeds, minus any expenses we have. And I got a great group of volunteers here in Hill County that try to keep that as minimal as possible. We're aiming for about 450 people. We got that last year. We're just about there. We have a handful of tables left to sell. So if you know of anyone who has never been to the event, encourage them to come. It's fun. It's at the Hillco Event Center over there in Itasca. You got David Holmes with the MC on the mic. So if you don't get enough of him in your day-to-day job, come on August 13th.
You were doing so good at that point.
And if you have a business that would like to sponsor our event, just contact me. We still have a few little sponsorship things available, but any questions, feel free to contact me. We'd love to see you out there.
Ben once, they'll go again.
Hopefully, yes. We got a lot of repeaters that they love it. It's a good time. And I'm so proud of Hill County because they always turn out real big for both of these organizations. So.
I've got one at my house is already planted.
And I do need a couple of purse models. So if there's any commissioners,
Actually, Scott-
constables.
Scotty,
Scotty, look at that.
really,
You know,
he cleans up the best of all of us, honestly.
He's thin.
Yes. Shoot.
Well, thank you guys for all you do for the children in Hill County. If you don't know, Mickey's been sitting on the advocacy board for a number of years now. This is the people that provide services to children of abuse, specifically sexual assault in Hill County. And I hate to tell you how often it happens. It's a very difficult job. So we greatly appreciate you volunteering. This is not something she gets paid extra for. It's just that important to what she does. And we thank you for it.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Anybody else here for open forum this morning? Going once, going twice, going to move along. Number one, discuss an action on 911 floodplain application fees. This was an action item that I was asked to put on the agenda from last court. We're looking at reviewing what it takes for 911 application fees. So Included in the current $50 fee right now is they have to sign the 911 address. They have to do the floodplain certification check. They have to buy the sign, buy the pole, buy the vinyl, put the thing together, and then go out and tag it. Plus, at the same time, geolocate the address. We're concerned that $50 is not covering that cost at this point. So the question becomes, what would the court like to do about that?
I recommend $100 and he starts tomorrow.
I don't have a problem with $100, but we might want to start on a beginning of a month, so it'd be easier on the accounting
People, I'll
people.
change it to
Okay,
August 1st.
well, Susan, I want to talk to that about real quick. What would be better, August 1st, September 1st, October 1st for the fiscal year? Or is there going to be a difference in the way we account? Okay, so
We're supposed to recoup our money, but we're not supposed to make a profit off of it, not to be rid of $100. Kind of, it's understandable.
Well, you know, the signs, you probably run close to $30.
mhm,
Somebody has to go out and put the new sign down.
mhm.
Karen has to go out and sometimes she goes out 2 or 3 times because they tell her they've got the stake out there. She gets out there. And I mean, time you run from Hubbard to Mount Tom to all over this county.
Yeah,
You run up a whole bunch of miles and I think the 100 is justified.
I'm not concerned about us at 100. I really think that we're not making money at 100. I can tell you just by the mileage now at state mileage rate of 0.65 and what we put into this program. But if we go above that, I think this was what Susan's point is, that we probably ought to do a study, anything above that, to make sure that we aren't making a profit, because we're not supposed to be making a profit. We're government, it should be a wash. It's just, we can't absorb the $50 loss any longer. It's whipping us. So I know it doesn't sound like much, but every dollar around this place counts when Daniel gets finished with you.
You got a second.
All right, we have a motion and second to raise the 911 floodplain application fee to $100. That includes the sign, the installation, the address, the floodplain check. So is there any discussion on that?
Make it effective after the cost study.
No, I would say, can we go ahead and make it effective August 1st? And then, like I said, again, if we're going to go beyond that 100, well, then we get into some territory, we probably need to do an official cost study on things. So any further discussion? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion will carry. Number 2 is discuss and or approve invoices. And we have, I have a copy in front of me. You guys got an email like I did of the accounts payable for 7/19/22. I didn't see anything here that caused me a pause for concern. I will mention, and it's, again, no individual's fault, that just everybody watch your fuel line items. The cost of fuel obviously was so great, so much greater than what we actually had budgeted for. Nobody thought $6 diesel was going to be a reality last, time this year when we did this. Otherwise, I appreciate everybody trying to maintain their budgets the best they can. That's
Second.
motion and second to approve the invoices for this date. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Number 3, discuss and to approve contract for the sale of real property located at 200 East Franklin Street, Hillsborough, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, I have in front of me the contract from Waco Housing Authority. They buy this again for the amount of $772,000. This is only 200 on the south side, the parking lot on the north side of the road. The city has expressed interest in taking the vote. We're going to work out terms with them shortly. Part of this contract also is an addendum here on page 16. I'm sorry, page 1 of 1, and that's the special provisions. This is where we haven't finalized. I didn't see that. PID 1112. No, that we're striking through. So what we have here is contracts contingent upon the buyer's board of directors approving, contracts contingent upon Hill County Commissioners Court final approval. They had the buyer will have right of first refusal should seller choose to sell PID property IDs. No, we've already got that city, so I'm striking that. That's the address across the street. So I have struck that. The seller and buyer will finalize the lease back within 30 days from the effective date of the contract. The lease will be based on Hill County leasing back the highlighted area of Exhibit B, which is where the tax office is, and the two-story building at $4,500 per month plus utilities for 6 months from the closing date. Hill County will have the 2 one-month options to extend the lease. I hope we never have to exercise those, but it makes no sense to spend the money to move the tax office somewhere else right now when we're just going to move them straight over here. We're told by January at this point, but this will give us the option to take it out into next year if there's delays of some sort. The other thing is Hill County shall have 24-hour access to the server room for the term of the lease. That way we protect that server room, which we're not actually leasing it back. They're going to need access. We're going to need access. That's the contract, gentlemen.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any commentary? I think it's time to get this thing off our rolls. As part of our capital program, we've identified those buildings that are just cost prohibitive to maintain. This is one of those for our purposes. So it'll go back onto rolls and hopefully we'll see some tax money out of it in the long run. While at the same time, we consolidate our footprint. So I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. That leads us to number 4, discussion action on medical insurance proposal. Are you waving at me, Miss Susan? Yes, ma'am. It has to be. That's a good point to make after the last fiasco. Thank you. I will do that. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Mr. Anderson.
Right. We all did.
You're doing fine. As you gentlemen will recall, Daniel Anderson with Anco Insurance is our insurance broker, or has been for the last several years. And he's come today with some options. We went out for requests for proposals earlier this year, and I believe he has a response to those requests.
Good. Start with the first other sheet right here. Okay.
Well, we're not, we'll get everybody a copy of it. I don't plan on taking action on this today unless you tell me it goes away. I want, next Tuesday, we plan on taking action, gives everybody a chance to do the due diligence, look at it, get the commentary in. We have found that if we open them and take action the same day, we do hear from voices in this building. So it's best to let everybody have a little bit of time to look at it. Wonderful.
So this first page, here's the responses we've had and the carriers we have, okay? We don't need to spend a lot of time on the first page because I've narrowed it down already on the second page for our recommendations for the best option based on the bids that we receive. And the open middle carriers on the red side after the first page. If we flip over to the second page, the two best responses honestly are between Edmund and Bluecross. Keeping the exact same plan design that you have. And there are a little bit of changes when having a Bluecross. So right now, Bluecross has the best rate. Let me just give you a little explanation of how that works. TAC has the DTQ, or not say they're not competitive for this, for Bluecross to actually release a bid. Okay, so that has to start months in advance for that even to happen to get the option that you got on the page. Okay, so that being said, I would personally recommend taking a closer look at the Bluecross option. Overall, it's keeping the exact same plan design, except the primary care copay is lower, $30, and the specialist copay is lower, $50, as well as the black rate to be covered under the office visit copay instead of deductible. Okay, so that's a big deal. Bluecross, that's the largest network that there is in the state of Texas. Okay, it's an open access plan. This is not an HMO product.
Okay.
It will still include Bluecross plus the premium saver plan that you have now to get the deductible out of pocket to where they're at.
Okay.
So let me just give you a little, I did the math on your claims for the 24 months that we had before that took over. Okay, those 24 months are still looking at 32%, right?
Yeah.
So you still have bad data. Trend is also bad right now, but the claims with Aetna actually are a little better.
Okay.
It has more claimants, but overall, we're running under 100 for the first 4 months. Right? Our original increases, this has been negotiated down like 3 times already, but it's because the overall data since before I was here is still not the best. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's trending in the right direction. if you can plan this not like we have, is really going to help you come next year's renewal, right, and the year after that. Okay, so overall, the renewal of this plan was really a richer plan than you have now with larger network that everybody I think is familiar with the Blue network, right? That's about as good as it's going to get. It's right at about 8.89 is the overall increase for the total premium.
I'm not, I know 8.89% on this is, about 50 some odd $1,000, what we're looking at an increase. But I really am shocked that it's not double digits with inflation, with how we've been treated in the past. I want to say that I think the elected officials, appointed officials have done a good job working in their offices to manage this, manage those claims. I think, Rhonda brought us the Help MD several years ago. I'm so glad the commissioners continue to use that. That diverts a lot of claims away from our insurance, allows us to get slightly better, rates. And I hope that we can continue to have good luck and see things go down, be a plus.
That's right. And eventually that data falls off, the data's not there anymore. So at some point you become way more attractive to all these carriers, right? And you make a move to reset. And I also, when talking across, has offered an 11% rate cap for next year on top of this right here, the worst case scenario.
Okay, it's not guaranteed 11, it's just worst case scenario, they wouldn't go up more than 11.
That's right. Up more than 11 worst case scenario. Just so you know, you can always, like next year, it's Guardian on your ancillary benefits didn't increase anything, it's at 0.
I saw that. That's interesting.
All flat, and we've got a pretty large, we're gonna get it.
Okay.
And compared to the rest of the market, but next year it may be something like, instead of having carriers go off the increase, we could use an ancillary line or two to get discounts on the medical on top of that 11. So like, I'm just going to give you an example, not 100%, but like let's say next year we wanted to move to dental, they match the rate, so they would give us maybe 2 to 4% off the medical. So you're looking at 11, 7 just by planning this.
Okay,
Just an example of how that. Okay.
good. I like that idea.
Does anybody, when the plan is real similar, they basically match benefits except for the co-pays are better and then better on the last net credit. Urgent care and then what's better. Does anybody have any questions about overalls in general about anything that they do?
Good.
I mean, everybody's pretty familiar with it, correct?
That's got insurance.
What's that?
You can have an education on people in that. It does its job. It's the only, plan you want to follow the party to the next word. Run that for a while. Blue Cross for Edmund, occasionally deliver the soccer pays and all, business where you grow. Stuff. So it's time to help people early claims, small claims, all claims. But still get the important with that. It does its job. Yes, there's problems every now and then where some of that very far. Our person in office, the lady up and going with our just things we have to get involved. This has been around a long time, that's just gonna happen.
It does, and that's my personal experience with it. I know that one of my daughter's doctors, Dave, no, we don't, well, we got your card. No, we got a second one. No, we got this. And finally, it took a little bit, but we got it sorted out. And I think Ronnie answered the phone, answered some questions for us, and we got that sorted. And now it works just like it should. It's just that initial setup with that practitioner was a little, they didn't understand, but once they got past their administrative people, it's been great.
That's right, yeah, it takes, it may take a little bit, but it's, if you count for this, the savings and the benefit increase and all that over time, if everybody really realized how much that is, there wouldn't be any questions about it.
Yeah.
Also, needs to read it.
It does, it makes the stuff lower, even though it's hard to illustrate exactly because it's a per head benefit. So it's actually a bigger benefit than your standard plan was before you had. Okay.
Is that it?
No, it's Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Well, Blue Cross was great.
Yeah, this is the first time we had Blue Cross bid because the Texas Association of County represents Blue. Blue won't bid against themselves. So Daniel was able to get Texas Association of Counties to non-bid to withdraw theirs. And so now Blue bid us directly. And as you can see, that's when you can dictate what you want in your plan and you know what you're doing, you can get a lot better rates with it. And so, our biggest problem is our negotiating standpoint, Sheriff, has been so bad because we had these almost 200% claims numbers about 24 months back. And it just happens sometimes, it stings. So this has been a steady progress of getting things under control, getting benefit, using different tactics to get those claims off of our numbers, from the Help MD to the red card to those things, where we're now just getting ourselves back into a position where as long as things hold and you don't have a heart transplant on me, we should be pretty good. I'm saying that jokingly. If anybody needs a heart transplant, get a heart transplant.
We just let them die.
Yeah, no, let's just die. Oh, can't do that.
Well, we're still looking to keep the red one on.
That's what he's saying, yeah. So you have to have, we're gonna go to blue, but you have to have the red card as well. Without the red card, the cost of it's just so high, it's not probably doable for the county.
You know, I'm set up and said always come to the position offices to understand the red card.
It's just,
Not enough to see that.
it's just education. There's lots of people, lots of counties that have it now. But the same similar situation. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't withstand a 50 to 60% increase when the data justifies a 50% increase. Right? And so you've got to find ways to get more aggressive negotiating with these underwriters. Okay? Not to say everything is perfect, but you could move everybody, you can move the tax, and there's still going to be somebody, there's going to be problems. You know what I mean? It's just never, somebody throws on whatever, that's just. Yeah,
We're trying to do the best we can do for the most employees at one time here, but we also be cognizant of the cost. We get, X number of dollars allocated to us in revenue each year, and we have to make that spread out amongst employee pay raises, higher cost of gasoline, higher cost of tires, higher cost of everything. Plus, on top of that, trying to keep up with cost of living. And, 8.9, I really thought we were going to see a 10% increase. I'm so glad we did not.
Yeah, and it started, I mean, just to tell you kind of what I did on the background, wow, right, but that was originally increased that 18, their underwriters justified higher than that, but they came up with 18.1, we negotiated to 15.
Wow.
Down to 12, Blue Cross initially came out with 19, we got them to an 8.8, basically, okay? So it just takes time and discussion, and we've got a large block of business that helps with that as well.
No doubt, no doubt.
So, and the first year rate guarantee is a rate cap.
I'm not asking for action today. I'm keeping word. I want time for people to look this over, ask questions, get the plans. If Mr. Anderson's not available, then somebody here from this company, or you catch Rhonda, and we'll talk about this. But I plan on taking action on this at next Tuesday's regular State Commissioners Court. I need to do it before the proposed budget comes out, so I've got the numbers. Last year, we were kind of behind the 8 ball, and we had open enrollment a little later than anybody was comfortable with. I know you guys rushed hard to get it done, and you guys rushed. So I'm trying to move this process up just a hair this year, have those numbers before the proposed comes out. So everybody, if you've got questions, Mr. Anderson, Rhonda, you name it, Sheriff, obviously, if you've got questions, please, you've got the plans in front of you. I think right now, the best benefit that I've seen, and I got these numbers ahead of you guys, got them yesterday. I think that blue is the best option for us. So, okay. And that means we stay with Guardian for all the other addendum things. So Blue put in bids on it, but they're just a little higher on those other dental, vision, life, ADD. So
For next year's renewal, plus the rating, they're good. It's the best plan of action. I think I'm not moving to the ancillary product.
Okay.
Just better.
we've had the ancillary split for so long, we're used to it at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good deal. All right. Any questions for Daniel? None? Anybody? Come on now. Usually this is just like shooting gallery. time for
Yeah.
this guy. We've been here previously.
Yeah.
Take a look at this, we are aware. The insurance rate needs to be divisible by 2, you never 3, you never 4, or 2, causes this problem.
Once we approve the carrier we're going to, then we go back and get it. Need to see it. So that's, we'll get that.
Okay,
That's
good.
an easy fix. Once we decide, yeah, you're gonna get the business, then we can say, okay, we need you.
Okay.
Even if
Well, we plan on taking action on this on the next Tuesday's Commissioners Court. Like I said, you expect some phone calls this week and into, into the end of this week. If anybody's got questions, we'll get those questions answered and we'll go from there. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being with us this morning. Will do. All right. Any further questions about this topic? What we'll do is I will make these available in my office for anybody who needs copies, just to make more copies of it. And that way we can get everybody a chance to look at it. And that takes us on number 5, budget workshop. Does anybody have anything for budget workshop this morning? We're coming along with the budget workbook. I got chastised for entering information too early yesterday, but I promised the nice people from Gravity I won't do that again until they get a little further. I know we're going to be working pretty solid next week. You're going to have difficulty catching us to some degree because we're changing the budget software in the middle of this process. It's necessary to do it, but at the same time, it's kind of maddening. It's creating a little bit of extra work, but I fully expect that we will have our proposed budget out by the end of next week, like we should. So no problems there. We have the appraised value numbers. There was a significant increase in new construction in FM lateral. There was a significant increase in new construction in the general fund. Of course, the freeze adjusted is only about 52 million, but I had talked yesterday morning in a meeting with Chrissy and Hightower, our tax assessor collector, and her right-hand person, Ms. Diane, and they are supposed to be working. They said they confirmed to me they did get those numbers from the appraisal district and that they are working on the tax rate this week. So they asked me how much COLA was going to be, and I said, well, until I get the numbers, I really can't tell you. So hopefully that's an incentive to move that on down the road. But I will be following up with them later this week to see exactly where we're at. Once we have the revenue, I can give you a better idea of what we've got to work with. Just straight out, we live within our means. We have to. Yes, ma'am.
The deal with Gravity, we were having some issues. But they find it's issues.
Apparently I entered things in the wrong book. So remember the other day you came down and showed me, hey, you probably put this in the wrong book. Well, they found the stuff in the wrong book and I got my hand slapped for doing that. So that's the issue. So you got to teach me something new. Sometimes it takes a few times for me to figure it out, but it's coming along. I tell you, I'll talk about the Gravity workbook real quick. For so many years, we've kept this main spreadsheet file that we built the budget in, but there's these peripheral files out there for other things that I don't see on a regular basis and other budgets I don't see on a regular basis. All of that is being brought into this to a degree. So for example, we go and get a copier for the county judge. Well, now we put that copier contract in there and hey, this is the cost, it's reoccurring, it pops up. So often in our budgeting, we have these lines that you guys see a final number, but you really don't get to see a breakdown of what's behind that. Going forward, we'll be able to show you what the breakdown behind some of those things are. Why does bonds and insurance cost 300 in this office and 800 in this office? Because X, Y, and Z. These are reoccurring costs we have. That's the thing we're trying to build with this is not only ease of transaction, but transparency to show everybody how we're spending our money, where the tax dollars go, and is it the best use of allocation? So that's what I've got for budget. Nobody else? Yes, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So I would like to say that Hill County IT, we've got a really good team right now. I think so good, in fact, that we have not had to rely on outside contracted services. We are doing the vast majority of things in-house these days.
Yes.
To the extent that I have money left over in my contract services line item. And we drive from, obviously from Hillsborough, we're out of Huron, Penelope, Itasca, we're all over the county. And it's myself, it's Melissa, it's Wendy, we're all out and about. And I know there's been some discussion in regards to Department of Vehicles, but I would like to ask for consideration, and then we're just kind of presenting this now for IT department to have a Department of Vehicle. Could potentially purchase it. I have funds in my contract line item, as I mentioned, so we just wanted to kind of present that idea as an option, and going forward, I could, because we're doing so much in-house, we could probably reduce our contract services line item to offset some of the ongoing costs of having a department.
Well, good. I'm glad you brought it to our attention. Let's have a conversation about it and put your proposals in the budget and we'll go through it, man.
Okay.
Good deal. Thank you, sir. Appreciate
You
it.
live in Crown Big Slip.
No, I think you hard pressured the chief into selling all those. Yeah, see, wouldn't it be nice to have a Crown Vic right about now? Yeah, well, for the money they brought, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little surprised how much it was sold for.
Okay. Okay.
You can't do that to him. I like Philip. That ain't right. I bet it was nice the day it was bought, but the air conditioner works good. Both the doors are missing, the air conditioner works
The
good.
grease on the seat doesn't hurt anybody.
No, not at all. That's good for a hard drive.
You
Okay.
slide in.
We'll figure out, we'll talk more on that later. Anybody else for budget workshop, anything that we need to talk about? Going once, going twice. All right, if you haven't got your budget into me, please do so because it'll be mad input next Monday going forward. I promised Miss Lewis I won't be working on budget on weekends this year. I hate to lie to my wife, but it looks like I'm going to. Sorry about that, ma'am. But we will start over this weekend putting things in. We've got kind of a busy week. That being said, if you haven't got your budget yet, I get it. There's been some uncertainty in places, but if you could by Monday, I would appreciate it. So, all right, well, ladies and gents, Commissioner Crumpton,
Making a motion adjourn.
motion second, we stand adjourned. Thank you for your attention to these matters today. Daniel, thank you for being with us.
You got that